This new Scar card is beyond fascinating. We're going to unpick it. 5 cost, uninkable, 5 strength, 4 willpower, quests for 2, and it can draw you cards. More about that in a moment. Thanks to the channel sponsor Card Market. If you're looking at picking up singles online for Fabled, Card Market's the place to do. And there's now a tracked link in the description so Card Market can see that people do watch my videos. Thanks, guys. And thanks to Card Market. Your ally characters get +1 strength. And at the end of your turn, if this character is exerted, you may choose one of your ally characters and draw cards equal to their strength. If you do, banish that character and discard 2. So, it's got 2 abilities. You play it on turn 5. This is like the new Sad Beast, but it shows a very, very different approach to game design from Ravensburger. And I love it for a few reasons. First and foremost, let's just talk about the card, right? Like, it's similar to Tragic Beast in a way, but we've been talking a lot about how Fabled, the power level of the game, is just taking a huge leap down. Particularly card draw outside of Amethyst. We've seen Hiram Flavisham banned because it was kind of, you know, bending the or like merging the identity of Amethyst with a Sapphire card. Beast Tragic Hero, maybe not in the game anymore. Also very powerful card draw outside of Amethyst. Well, this is card draw in steel, but in a much more steel way, right? Like a self-wound card. You can sacrifice one of your own cards on the field to draw cards with Scar. So Scar, let's say you play it on turn 5. It immediately gives your other allies +1 strength. So it actually has a big impact, potentially, as soon as you play it. Like a mini Cricky, right? +1 strength is significant, particularly because the ally tag is one of the most common in Decent Lorcana. As just an idea, Pegasus, right? Like suddenly you've got a 2-1 Pegasus thanks to Scar. Something like a Tinkerbell, if you're at that stage in the game. Lawrence, all kinds of cards. Tipo, Diablos have this tag of ally. Tons of them. It's like Daisy Duck, Rhino, right? Like so many cards have this tag. So it's very, very valuable. No doubt about that. What about the second part of the ability then? It's when this character is exerted, so you could take a challenge, you could take a quest, at the end of your turn, banish one of your characters and draw cards equal to their strength, and then discard 2. So, let's say, for example, you're playing Steel and you're playing Emerald, and you have Pegasus on the board, right? Pegasus is a 2-1 because Scar gives it +1. What you could then do is you could, when you end your turn, your Pegasus is exerted, you've quested with it, you've quested with your Scar, let's say, you banish Pegasus, and it will be 2 strength because of Scar, and then you could draw 2. So you would draw 2, but then you always have to discard 2 regardless. If we use a different example, and let's say you did it on Tinkerbell, because she's also an ally, she would be 3 strength. You banish Tinkerbell, you draw 3 cards, but you still discard 2. So, in order for Scar to replace himself, right, because Scar is 1 card that you're playing from your hand as well, you need to destroy a ally that has 2 strength or more on the card before the Scar buff, or 3 once the Scar buff comes through. In order for Scar to actually net you card advantage, which means increase the size of your hand, you need Scar to banish a 3 strength ally or more. Bad example, but something like a Genie, right? You banish Genie. Oh, because, yeah, you banish Genie, you would draw 4 cards from that, but then discard 2. Scar was a card, +1, but then you're also having to banish a Genie, so you're kind of still even at that point, right? So if you really, really want positive cards as a result of this Scar play, you really need to be banishing something with 4 strength or more, right? Something like a Lawrence. 4 strength, Scar gives it +1, it's going to be 5 strength. Scar banishes it, you draw 5 cards, you discard 2, you draw 3 cards, so you replace Scar, Lawrence, and that 1 extra card. It's a lot of work. However, Scar's stack. You could play a Scar on turn 5 and a Scar on turn 6, and then suddenly your Pegasus is not just 1 strength, it's 3 strength, right? You play a Scar on turn 5, you quest of it on turn 6, or challenge, you play another Scar, this Pegasus is suddenly 3 strength. You banish this Pegasus, you draw 5 cards, you discard 2. So Scar is a card which is good if you play it on turn 5 and then follow it up with another Scar on turn 6, for example, right? Which is quite interesting. Now, another card or cards to consider are cards which increase strength. Look at that. I know there's a hyphen in the middle of that. Cricky. Cricky is a set 4 card, however, but Infinity constructed, I doubt Cricky gets reprinted. I think Cricky is a very, very strong card. Too strong, arguably. When you play this character, your other characters get +3 strength this turn. In Infinity, that's going to be insane, but doesn't look like Cricky is being changed. But worth noting that if you can find cards which are going to be buffing up strength even more, Scar becomes better. So what do I think about Scar? It's a fascinating card. Now, another thing I wanted to touch on with the card design of Scar, why I love it. If you think about Beast Tragic Hero, Beast Tragic Hero led to game states where if you didn't answer the card, you lost. It just sat there ready and it drew cards every turn. Similar to Prince John, right? Similar to Bucky, similar to Diablo. These kinds of card draw tools, I know Bucky wasn't card draw, but it was card advantage because it made you discard your hand, which were just sat there ready, were a little bit uninteractive. Diablo, it was exerted, but it was evasive, right? It was difficult to deal with. Beast, you could deal with it with something like Bruno, or you could deal with it with something like Medusa, but if you didn't have those exact cards, you lost the game on the spot. Scar is very different. Obviously, it comes with significantly more downside, but it also has to be exerted in order for its ability to go through. This kind of card design highlights why I'm so excited for Fabled, because I think we're seeing a real maturity almost to the card design of this game. Like, the game designers have been doing it for 2 years now. They've seen what worked. They've seen what they didn't really like about their game in the first few sets. I think we can all agree that Disney Lorcana gameplay at a fundamental core values is fantastic. It's brilliant. But there was quite a few cards and play patterns which weren't that enjoyable. Prince John, Diablo, Bucky, Beast Tragic Hero to a lesser extent. But Scar, a card draw tool in Steel, which is really hard to maximize the value of, but has tons of different synergies and feels thematic for Steel. Like Scar destroying an ally, guys. You could destroy Mufasa. Oh my god, please reprint Mufasa, guys. I only just realized. Imagine that. Is Mufasa an ally? I'm going to assume yes. He has to be. It's Mufasa. He's not. No. We need a Mufasa ally card, guys. For the pure thematic play. Very, very cool card, though. I give this one 10 out of 10 in terms of card design. 10 out of 10. Yes, please. This is what I want in my card game. In terms of power, very hard to evaluate. I think it's good. I think +1 strength to everything, 5/4 stat line that Quest for 2 is very, very solid. Very solid. And I think like what you're probably looking to do with Scar is target something weak. You don't want it to actually net you a huge amount of card advantage. You want to be targeting something like if you're playing Amethyst Steel, which maybe the card draw is not as valuable, but like just imagine it with this, right? You give your Diablo +1 strength to 1/1, and you could draw a card off of it, right? It's not bad. Not bad at all. There's a bit of synergy there, right? You banish your Diablo, so your Diablo draws you a card, and then it's going to be at 1 strength, so you would draw 3 cards, discard 2. Pretty cool. Even though like the card draw is also not that much, it's also like the deck filtering is still valuable, right? You get to really dig and find what's good. And also this kind of effect with Scar allows you to play more uninkable cards. So like I think Scar is a card that if you're playing it, you're playing 4 copies of it, which is really cool. 5/4 stat line, incredibly good stats, very, very hard to remove efficiently. I like the card a lot. I gotta say, I love this direction of card design, Ravensburger. Yes, please. Ursula's being reprinted. Not the one you might think. It's a 3-cost uninkable 3/3 that quests for 1. Whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character card ready at the start of their next turn. It's not great, is it? It's not great at all. There's a reason it's never seen play in the past. 3/3 stat line, uninkable, quest for 1. I think my biggest problem maybe with Ursula is the fact that like none of these things are bad about her apart from the fact she's uninkable, but you're incentivized to quest with her, but she only quests for 1. Like, let's say this card was like 3 strength, 1 willpower, and quested for 2, I would be in love with the card, right? Yeah, it's not great. It's really not that bad, though. It is not that bad at all, but don't love it. There's a reason it's not seen play before. Hercules, beloved hero. Bodyguard with resist 1. Quest for 2, 6/5. Pretty good card. Not bad. Like, this card always looked like it should be a bit better than it was. Sapphire Steel, I think, could be on the menu this set. Not an ally, worth noting. It's not bad. There's like the Megara card, which honestly I feel like was quite underrated. I don't think that one's been announced as a reprint though. I think this one actually did get announced as a reprint, which I don't think we covered. But I think this card's been announced as a reprint, which is really not bad either. I used to really like this card in set 1. But this Megara is the one I was talking about. No, this Megara is the one I was talking about. It is a set 4 card. Whenever you play a character named Hercules, me ready. Very underrated card. I got cooked by Ravensburger game designer Tim, who's been on the channel, in a draft with this card. He quested for like 8 in 1 turn with 2 Megaras. It was crazy. I think he quested for 12. He had 2 Megaras on the board and then played 2 Hercules. Each one quested for 6. So there's like some cool stuff you can do with that, but as of yet we're not seeing Megara. But I will say, if this card gets reprinted, I will be pretty high up on it, because again, with the power level decreasing, this kind of combo I think is the direction this game seems to be going. It seems to be less about just good cards like Fox and Smee with just raw stats, and more about synergies that you have to work hard to achieve, which is exactly what I want to see. Maui's Place of Exile. Characters gain resist 1 while here. It's pretty pants, isn't it? 5 willpower is not a lot. Costs 1 to move there just to get resist 1. And it costs 2. I think honestly pretty pants is generous. This card is pants. Just strictly pants. Don't see that changing either. The Queen has a epic. That's epic, mate. Mama Odie, Voice of Wisdom. Whenever this character quests, you may move up to 2 damage counters from chosen character to chosen opposing character. Again, this kind of card would have been terrible last set, but maybe it could be okay. Probably a bit expensive for being uninkable. Problem with Mama Odie is that you play her at 6, and then you quest on 7, and it's only then that she does something, right? Amethyst Sapphire maybe comes to mind, because you've obviously got some ramp there, but if you actually look at the control tools, which Amethyst Sapphire already has, you've got Hades, Sven, Elsa. Yes, I said Sven. I still like Sven! Maybe like Amber Amethyst, where you're a little bit more hard-pressed for control tools. There's also the Elsa, right, from set 1, the legendary Elsa is back. Probably not. Madame Medusa seems to be out of the game, though, which was always a problem for a card like this. It's probably better than it looks. Not bad in a sealed format. Cinderella's back, Singer 5. You can exert this and heal. Something like this, right? I always like this card in set 1 as well. 2/5 stat line, quest for 2. Agrabah's back. Agrabah's underrated. That's the first vanilla location that we're seeing, actually. I've actually played Agrabah quite a bit in like a Ruby, Amber, Agraby deck. Agrabah's pretty underrated. Especially if you've got location synergies, it's quite good. Only costs 1 to move there, and it's like, well, why would you want to move there? But there's some decks, like the Sugar Rush Speedway deck, for example, where you need to move from one location to another. So, and there's like some cards which get extra effects if they're already at a location and stuff like this. Agrabah I like to see reprinted. If you compare it to McDuck Mana costs 1 more and you have 4 more willpower, right? Like Agrabah, kind of underrated. If Rush is less relevant this set, which I mean it looks like it, we haven't seen Maui being reprinted, we haven't seen Peter Pan Shadowfinder being reprinted, we haven't seen many Rush characters really. Agrabah, Fox not being reprinted. Agrabah's a card to keep an eye on. Agrabah is a very, very, very key card to keep an eye on. It might be good. Imagine playing against DKP, and instead of him slamming 2 McDuck Manas for 8, he plays 3 Agrabahs for 9. Doesn't sound bad. Doesn't sound bad! I've always quite liked this card. I think it's underrated, but with less Rush, with less Crickies, less Crabs, those kinds of cards, one to keep an eye on, I would say. Believe it or not. Which I bet you didn't expect that. Camillo Madrigal, big shout out to a friend of the channel, Emily Abadira, the artist of this one. I always almost like this card. It can quest for 2 or it can get Challenger 2. Not in love with Camillo. It is a nice Madrigal to add to a Madrigal theme deck. And again, maybe if we're going that direction, maybe Madrigal theme deck could actually be a viable option. Like when I played Amber and Amethyst last set, I was just like, well, no, I'm not going to play a Madrigal theme deck. I'm just going to play good cards like Rapunzel. Why do I want to play Madrigals when I can play Rapunzel and Fox? But that seems to be the direction that the game is now going in, is that a lot of those over-tuned set 1 and set 2 cards are not being brought back, and the game designers are trying to reduce the amount of staples that are just good in every single deck because they're just overstated. I still think Camilla Madrigal's not very good, though. Sorry, mate. I love this card! Yes! I love this card. Jafar, Keeper of Secrets. This character gets +1 strength for each card in your hand. Fun fact, this is one of the only cards in Disney Lorcana which is arguably better when you go second. That's pretty cool. I would like to see more cards like that. Why? Well, because you draw that extra card when you go second. Gets 1 extra strength, kind of. I always like this card. I think this card is underrated. I think this is a good card. 5 willpower, quest for 2. This could be like a 5/5 guy. Good card. I think it will see play. I think it will see play, guys. I really do. Card Soldiers 5/5, quest for 2. Believe it or not, this card has actually seen some play in like Mufasa decks. Sure. It's not terrible. It's not good. But vanilla stat, I've been moaning a bit about vanilla stat line cards being reprinted. I'm still not the hugest fan of it, but whatever. I've talked enough about it. Dolores Madrigal. Hello. This card, I have so many foils of Dolores Madrigal. She's like my most foiled card. Just because I got lots in packs. Not because I've been chasing Dolores Madrigal foils, but I know I've got like 6 foils of this card. Great card, will see competitive play. This is the power level that Ravensburger are going for. No more Rabbit, right? Dolores Madrigal, that is your card draw. Genie, draw a card, replace cells. Rabbit, see a Rabbit. Rabbit was pretty balanced though, but I think the game's going to be so good. I'm so excited. TikTok's back. Baker did an amazing reveal of this. I would say best Lorcana reveal ever. Not because the card's that good, but because Baker did a really awesome job of it. It was a good watch. Worth checking out. Good card, by the way. Evasive, 4/7. Very, very good for sealed. Are you going to play it in constructed? No, probably not. However, we talked about there being less rush in the game. Peter Pan Shadow Finder is not being reprinted, seemingly, I would imagine. I hope as well, frankly. But you know what is being reprinted is Peter Pan Shadow. And Peter Pan Shadow is quite underestimated because it gives your evasive characters rush. Bam! That could be strong. Wait. No, it gives your rush characters evasive. Damn it. That's good. Peter Pan Shadow does not synergize with this, and that's a good thing. I like that there's less rush. I like there's just less generically good cards. I like that there's less card draw. I like the direction the game's going. You're going to have to work harder to win games. You can't just win on raw stats. I've been playing Gundam today, and that game is so much just about raw stats and not that much about synergy. But Lorcana seems to be stepping into a new era that's prioritizing card synergy rather than raw stats. And I, for one, am so down for that. Donald Duck, the Perfecta Gentleman. Shift 3, quest for 2. At the start of your turn, each player may draw a card. Right? Right? I think you both draw or don't. Oh no, both can just choose to draw or not draw. I said it perfectly the first time. Card draw? Hello? This is actually probably Discard's best chance. I talked about, maybe not on the channel, but I talked to Moyen about it when we were in Madrid at the recent tournament, how I think it's important that Discard has a card draw engine of some sort to replace Prince John. This is the closest thing I've seen so far. I think Discard is an important deck for the game. Maybe with the power level decreasing, it's less important because you don't need to keep as many things in check. But if you're just discarding your opponent's cards and then not drawing any yourself, it's just going to lead to like top deck mode, right? Whereas what Donald Duck provides you is a way of drawing cards. You both draw, but then you discard your opponent's card that they draw, right? So Donald Duck is arguably a good card for discard. It's also just a emerald draw engine. Okay, it draws for your opponent, but that's what we're talking about. You have to work harder for this. You don't just get to draw with Diablo and Prince John. Oh no, long gone are those days, mate. You got to work hard for your card draw if you're not playing Amethyst now, and I love it. Can't believe I'm so excited for this set. Mother Knows Best's back. Yes, please. Fun fact, Moyen's first ever game of Disney Lorcana was against me. We were at Gamescom, I guess 2 years ago. Gamescom's coming up again. I'm going to be there with Card Market sponsoring the trip. And you can come play against me. Bring your Fabled decks to Gamescom if you're there with your Set 9 reprints and Set 5 to 8. Set 9 won't be out, but we're going to be playing Set 9 format and I'll be streaming all the time. Anyway, I digress. He sang with my deck that I gave him, Mother Knows Best with Rapunzel, to bounce his own Rapunzel back to his hand. And I told him, I don't think you can do that, mate. Well, he could. And then he beat me, like usual. Great card. Very balanced. Very epic. Very, very cool to see Mother Knows Best. I expect it to be very meta relevant. Also quite good with discard, right? Bruno's probably not coming back, but you can Mother Knows Best and then discard it, maybe. Also quite good with Donald. You're giving them loads of cards, right? But then you bounce stuff back to their hand. There's like Maleficent Staff, Amethyst Chromicon, I think is a set 5 card. There's like some sort of like Amethyst and Emerald deck that just gains tempo like we've seen back in the days. Mother Knows Best could be a great tool for those decks. Very, very good tool. Maybe even like Ruby Emerald with Singer cards, right? Like the Singer 2, that's like a 3-2 or something. Or it's like a Singer 4 rather. He could sing this. That's pretty good. Fabled Rapunzel. Oh my goodness, Rapunzel. Rapunzel letting down her hair. She's back, guys. But it's the Ruby Rapunzel. When you play this character, each opponent loses 1 law. Who are you and how did you find me? Who are you, mate? I've never seen this card before. And I don't expect to see it again. Sergeant Tibbs. Ja, sir. Bin Shan Andvag, sir. This says, yes, sir. I, beautiful, something. I think Sean is actually beautiful. There's definitely, yes, sir. I, doesn't make sense, though. No, I is ich. Ich bin. Oh, it's am. Am, beautiful, Sergeant, sir. Yeah. Okay, I suck at German. Good thing I'm not moving there. Oh, wait, yes, I am. Jafar! This card's great. Cool reprint. Cruella is also reprinted. The 3-2 in Sapphire with the same ability, same stat line. So, yeah, you've still got access to those, like, evasive during your opponent's turns cards in Steel and Sapphire. I think they'll both be very meta-relevant. Oh my god, there's more. Daisy Duck. I love this card! It's like Chip, but in Amber. I love this card. Megara's back, who we talked about. Also a pretty good card. +2 strength. There's some nice synergy with Megara and the Scar, right? That's pretty cool. Like, if you've got a Megara already on the board, and then you play a Megara on the Scar turn onto your other Megara, that Megara is going to get +2, so it'll be at 4, but because it's an ally, it will be a 5 because of the +1 from Scar. So then you could banish the Megara, draw 7 cards, and discard 2. Or is it discard 5 cards and draw 2? Yeah, discard 5 cards, draw 2, not 7. That would be a bit too good. It's pretty good. Medallion weights! I'm getting very excited for this set, can you tell? Exert, 2 ink, chosen character gets +2 strength this turn. Whenever they challenge another character this turn, you may draw a card. Alright, you ready for this? Bruh. Medallion weights is going to be meta relevant. Finally. That's really good. That's really good. This card, like, always was almost good, right? But now it's actually really good. Like, that is really good, guys. That's going to see play. I'm excited. Moana's back. She's a 3/4 evasive. No fire or storm will keep her from her goal. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Benja, I expect to be pretty relevant as well, though, for medallion weights. It's a big downside of it. Benja's in the game in steel. There's also the 2 emerald ones, Fred and Archimedes from Reign of Jafar, that cost 3. They're basically Benja in green with slightly different abilities. So I do think that medallion weights, while it could be very good, I expect maybe there's going to be an interesting like dynamic of strong item. In comes Benja. I love Benja. And I really like Archimedes and Fred as well. Return a character from your discard to your hand. You may remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. Bruno's return. Not bad. Not outstanding. If you've got some action synergy, it could be good. Like an Amber Ruby Robin Hood Sharpshooter deck. Return a Robin Hood Sharpshooter from your discard. Play it down. Kind of good. Not a bad card. Definitely not terrible. Lawrence is back. Lawrence is very good, but he's not as good as he was when Rapunzel existed. Because Lawrence plus Rapunzel was very good synergy. Still a great card, let's be honest. Very good card. Not much to say there, I think, apart from, yep, very good card. Flounder, the voice of reason. Floodborn, Flounder, coming soon. TM. I don't know anything. I don't think we're getting a Floodborn Flounder this set. But surely within the next 8 sets we get one, right? Come on. Come on. You can't give us this Flounder back and not give us the Floodborn Flounder. I know it's happening. I don't know that it's happening, just to be very clear, but I know that it's happening. Very, very cool reveals. I am getting more hype for this set by the day. Thanks again to the channel sponsor Card Market. I am excited to be excited about Lorcana because I've been on a bit of a downer about Lorcana, as I think most of us have recently. But rotation, honestly, as skeptical as I was to begin with, it might be just what we needed along. Maui 78p, guys. What? 78p Maui, bro. That's an all-time low. Okay. Sorry, let me correct that. 78p French Maui. If you want an English one, you're still looking at £1.60. Even then, that is cheap, mate. Thanks for watching the video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. See you soon. Bye.